bored of all the crappy music on the radio.
Where's that adventurous freeform radio that we used to love? Lucky there's the hour before. Dawoud and Kareem live a dream and bringing you the gift of the overnight shift. It's the hour before.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning and welcome to the overnight shift on AM 930 WPAT, and it is Saturday, the very 7th of December, 2019. Yes, that's right. The year 2019 of the Gregorian calendar is rapidly winding down. And we have come to the end of another week of stress, madness, mayhem, insanity, and completely unnecessary jiggery-pookery. Yes, folks, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm kind of in a bad mood. I've been stressed out pretty much all week, but we're going to have some music. We're going to enjoy this hour, and I will be with you for an hour, inshallah. And we'll try to get rid of that jiggery-pookery and replace it with fun and enjoyment, fellowship, and good vibes, because that's what I'm here for. But before we begin, special shout out to William Kareem, the executive producer of this show, and he is going to, one way or another, bring you the hour before at 4 a.m., which is music, commentary, and news, followed by a new day of Al-Islam for subhanallah, blah, blah, blah. A new day for Al-Islam in America, the finest Islamic American broadcasting in the English language that you are going to hear on the radio in the tri-state area. Another special shout out to my good friend, the Groovy King, the President of Africa, DJ O'Baby, who has just given you 2 hours of the finest African music. Ooh, we just heard his own shout out in the background down the hall, his mating call, his howling at the world, letting everybody know who he is. And so, anyway, let's begin with a little bit of music. Here's something that has an interesting backstory to it, but I'll tell you about that one later. Here we go. Montana by Frank Zappa. That has to be the only song that or at least the only one I can think of, that is about dental floss. Of course, it's from the unique perspective of Maestro Zappa. But how many songs can you think of that are about dental floss? And for those of you with a musical education or musical sensitivity, you will have noticed that after Frank Zappa's face-melting guitar solo, there was a bridge that vocals and xylophones were doing the, I'm plucking your dental floss. I can't get my voice that high. Day and night, and I'm plucking the floss. And many of you might not be aware that the vocalists on that break and the background vocalists on the whole song was Tina Turner and the Ikettes. What happened was that when Frank Zappa and his band were recording this, Ike and Tina Turner were recording in another studio in the same facility, and Frank and Tina crossed paths, and Zappa asked her if she would be willing to sing on this. And so she said yes. And apparently Ike wasn't too happy about it, but he still cashed the check that Zappa gave them. But later on, in later years, Tina Turner said that that session was the most difficult music that she had ever been called upon to perform in her whole life. In fact, if you are a musician and you are going to tackle the music of Frank Zappa, you better be on your game. His music, like it or not, love it or hate it, truly separates the men from the boys. And that's your history lesson for the moment. Moving right along, here's a piece by a man named Larry Young. He's a jazz organist who also is a Muslim who goes by the name of Khalid Yassin. And this is a piece called Beyond All Limits. Larry Young, a.k.a. Khalid Yassin, with a piece called Beyond All Limits. And I have it on very good authority that he and Jimi Hendrix not only were mutual admirers of each other's music, but they had actually recorded together. And unfortunately, the recordings were not finished by the time Hendrix passed away. Some later on, some edited versions of those sessions were released under the title 9 to the Universe. And perhaps someday I'll fish some of that out of the archives and play it for you, just to hear what that sounds like, and that should be some very interesting music. Moving right along, it's been a little while since I played some hip-hop music. Are you all in the mood for some hip-hop? Oh, I hear DJ O'Baby shouting an affirmation in the background, so I know I must be on the right track for this. Here are a couple of hip-hop pieces. I'm going to play 2 songs for you, and they are both very good examples of uniting contradictory elements. Let's hear what these sound like. I'll explain what I mean afterwards. Sit back, or get up and dance and enjoy. That was Where I'm From by Diggable Planets, a combination of hip-hop with an undeniable psychedelic influence. That's something that doesn't happen very often, but there it is. And before that, another combination that doesn't happen very often. We heard Shamrocks and Shenanigans by House of Pain. Irish American hip-hop. That's what happens when Irishmen do hip-hop. And I'll tell you something, it's probably a good thing that you all couldn't see me dancing. William Kareem had a good laugh when he was watching me dance. DJ O'Baby had a good laugh when he was watching me dance, but I don't care. I'm here to have a good time for this hour. Here's something that's completely off the beaten path, because this is freeform radio, and that's my job, is to completely do a whole bunch of different things for you, take you down different paths, unexpected twists and turns, and all kinds of things that you did not see coming. So you ask yourself, Did you ever have the feeling? That was a project called Visions of Vespertina and a piece called Illuminated Perfume. And before that, Did You Ever Have the Feeling? By none other than Jimmy Durante, the one and only Jimmy Durante. Everybody loved Jimmy Durante. You just couldn't help yourself. In any case, you are still tuned in to the overnight shift on AM 930 WPAT. And I am still Dawoud the Renegade Sufi, if that wasn't apparent to you already. And this is Freeform Radio. Now, going on with the music, I am going to do something a little bit different here, as I always do. And I think you'll like this. It's one of those things that you just can't help but liking. Check it out.
Look at me. And too much
Misty, as performed live from the woman who is arguably the greatest jazz singer who ever walked the face of the earth, Sarah Vaughan. It may interest you to know that that particular live recording was recorded in, I believe it was somewhere in Europe. The exact location escapes my memory, but I do remember that night she had a cold. That's what she sounded like when she had a cold. Sarah Vaughan. By the way, tonight I've been playing songs in sets of 2, but when you play Sarah Vaughan, you let her stand alone. In any case, let's move along to some other music. Here's something that I wanted to play for a while, and I think we got time for this one. We got a little bit of time left. I got about another 12 or 13 minutes before I relinquish the airwaves to Brother William Kareem. This is something that always helped cool me out when things were stressful. Put me in a more balanced mood. I think you'll like it. That was the Wolf Tones with a piece called Men Behind the Wire. And I remember I was hanging out in some Irish establishments more years ago than I care to mention. And that song was on the jukebox. And I thought I'd dig it out for you and play it for you. And before that we had the Moody Blues with a piece called Tuesday Afternoon. Well, my friends, my time is drawing to a close here, and in about 5 minutes or so, I will relinquish the airwaves to Brother William Kareem, who will be bringing you the hour before. And I want to thank you all for tuning in and for supporting this radio broadcast. And for those of you who wish to support this radio broadcast with your hard-earned dollars, you may do so by visiting us at anewdayforalislam.com. That's anewdayforalislam.com. It costs us money to put this radio show on here, and we are not making a profit off of this, believe me. I've been doing this for I don't know how long, and I haven't made a dime. And any case, if this music, if the hour before, and if A New Day for Al-Islam in America are something that you want to continue hearing on the radio and on the podcasts, go to the anewdayforalislam.com and help us out a little bit. Anyway, my name is Dawoud the Renegade Sufi, and I want to thank you for tuning in and for allowing me to share this music with you. And inshallah, I will be with you next week. And until that time, I pray that you are safe, that you are warm, that you are happy, that you are healthy, that you are with someone you love, and that your cookie jar is filled to the very brim with the cookies of your choice. This is a piece I'm going to leave you with. It's called The Moon Song. It's a duet between Charlie Hayden and Pat Metheny. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Until we meet again.